Hey guys and gals, it's me Subdan Rocket, and while I was so focused on the Sonic movie 2 releasing in theaters, a comic book movie came out. Yeah, and it's a Marvel comic book movie no less, in brackets, made by Sony, which is Morbius. This movie had a bit of an interesting history, to say the least, before it was released. Well, you see, this movie was of course going to be released back in 2020, but then it got delayed to 2021 and then 2022. Which makes sense, it's understandable. A lot of other movies had to do that, so it makes sense that this had to do the same thing. But then the interesting part comes 2 weeks before the movie release, if I'm estimated correctly. Apparently, it's like the movie stepped on a Lego brick, overreacted, fainted, and now is on the verge of death. Yeah. It started raining outside after I just started talking about this movie. I'm guessing it fits the mood. But anyways, let's take a look at how the actual movie turned out. So without further ado, let's get into it. Of course, we're gonna do a non-spoiler review and then we're gonna go into some spoilers. So cue that intro.
3, 2, 1.
Ready for liftoff, super Daniel rocket. Get ready for it. Of course, one thing a lot of people were wondering when this movie was announced was, why? Why choose this weird vampire superhero question mark as your next little project after the Venom movies? I mean, hey, it is cool to have some more vampires in the world of media. I mean, what else vampires that you can think of? 1, 2, 3, almost 3 years of this movie being delayed. Well, you see, I kind of feel like Sony is starting to take some notes when it comes to how Marvel do things in their Marvel Cinematic Universe. Everybody is wondering why this Doctor got a movie, but yet again, this Doctor got a movie, so why not? I mean, now it's getting a sequel that's really gonna explore a big thing for its universe, so hey, why not? And in case you guys don't know, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and even the Incredible Hulk to some extent, that group of people is too long to mention all the way. Maybe I should do an acronym for next time. Let's see now. Itch? Were technically considered B-tier characters compared to their A-tier characters, which of course are X-Men, Spider-Man, and the Fantastic Four. But of course, soon enough when Marvel Studios was formed and they started making this big universe, and they started with these characters, they started to get more recognition. So it's a great thing to showcase more lesser-known characters, and why not Sony do the same? Because, you know, they do want to make a cinematic universe, so why not learn from the best and do the same method? Yeah, I know, technically Sony is a bit slow right now in trying to learn how to really manage this cinematic universe. You can clearly tell that in a lot of their movies. But I kind of feel like they are improving. Did you realize that we're already 3 movies into this weird Sony-verse, as I guess we can call it? And they didn't really try their best to connect them all very crazily, I guess. You know, something similar to what happened with The Mummy or even their previous cinematic universe that failed, which of course was set up in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So yeah, they're really trying their best to really make sure they just focus on the characters first before, you know, merging all of them together. And that's the same thing here with Morbius. Yeah, sure, it might be argued that it happened to be like this considering they have to possibly cut a few things, which I'll mention later. But still, I'm glad that they really tried to focus on Morbius and not try their best to, you know, make sure it's connected to Spider-Man, put all these references all together. Although even though they are focusing a lot on the story and not with the, you know, the continuity with the other Spider-Man films, I kind of feel like they didn't do their best to really flesh it out. It kind of feels like this movie is like if an independent movie studio got a bigger budget and had the idea of a superhero film, and this technically would be the result. It definitely has that feeling towards it because, you know, it kind of is a bit by the numbers when in terms of its plot. And surprisingly, it's a 1 hour 30-minute movie to be estimated, I guess. And yeah, you can clearly tell it. The movie goes so fast. which is a bit unfortunate because there's a lot of things that they show in this movie that I want to see explored more. like Jared Leto's personality when he gets the, the vampire attributes. I kind of feel like that one scene where he had to invade somebody's place to get something. I kind of feel like that would be interesting considering he's a doctor. I think they could have had some more fun, playing around with that idea. And yeah, I really understand the, the little friendship he had with his best friend. And yeah, trying to find a cure for both of them. It was really heartwarming in a way. I mean, it's not much, but it's there and I do like it. I kind of feel like that should also be fleshed out a bit more. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that they have to rush a lot of the stuff here. Okay, Daniel, you gotta be careful when you're doing the review here. I'm actually planning to start my process on making this brand new medicine for a disease that's occurring a lot in my dimension. So yeah, I think this should be easy. Lynette, those things take time, right? You can't just form a cure just instantly,
Alright,
only a few seconds in and I have the cure. Alrighty then, let's do this. Okay then. Oh my goodness, it spawned a big monster.
Oh my god, what?
Okay, we have a monster now. Okay, the monster has multiplied.
Can't keep up.
Aha, I finally figured out. It only took me a couple of seconds. I need to, calm them down by using a dance number without music.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What were you just watching?
I have no idea myself. Irish Morbius. I have no idea myself. Another thing I want to talk about in this non-spoiler review is the special effects, aka wobbly lines. Woo! Oh my goodness, I think this is too much. Can we turn it back please now? Please? Hello? Hello? Hey, come on! This visual effect that they use for Morbius's powers is a bit confusing in some occasions when, he's fighting other people. But I think it's a pretty nice way to depict his powers. I just feel like if they clean it a bit and make it easier to understand what's going on, I think this is a cool little, attribute, style for Morbius in a way. Yeah, I like it. I kind of feel like we should treat this movie as like the Incredible Hulk of this Sony-verse. That goes for both us and also Sony themselves. I kind of feel like since we cannot do a Morbius 2 now, considering this movie didn't do well both commercially and critically as well. So maybe it's best to progress his story in like the, other projects that don't involve Morbius as the main focus. I kind of feel that's what Sony should do, and that's how we should treat the character now. Just this movie being a nice introduction for future projects. So that's pretty much it for the spoiler review. I know I kind of mentioned most of the stuff about the movie in this non-spoiler review because I want to focus most of my effort in the spoiler section to the end credits scene. Because if you watch the movie, you understand why I'm doing this. Yeah. So without further ado, cue the spoiler warning. Oh yeah, before I get into the post-credit scene and the end credit scene, yada yada yada, I want to do one more thing in this spoiler review. Why is the opening and closing credits just a fancy light show that I can probably just see at a local park's fountain or something? I mean, seriously, they could have done better with this concept for an opening and closing credits. So essentially, during the ending of No Way Home, where Doctor Strange sent all the villains back to their universe, it somehow, accidentally in a way, sent Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture from the Tom Holland universe, into the Venom/Morbius universe. The man appeared in a random prison cell and was let go because, hey, he didn't do anything wrong in this universe. But yeah, I kind of feel like you should question him why he's there. Maybe, yeah, even though we know he's from a different universe and all, but to them, maybe they could have thought that, maybe he was trying to sneak into the prison to break somebody out or something. Did that cross their mind? And maybe the end credit scene didn't have time for that or something. So that was the first end credit scene, which for some reason takes place in between the credits itself. I have no idea why. Maybe they don't want to waste people's time. Yet again, this is a very short movie. I don't know why they needed to do that. But anyways, after the credits actually ended, we got another scene where Adrian Toomes is now in his Vulture suit apparently, even though this is a different universe, but it looks a bit different, so maybe this credit scene actually took place a little later in the future after the first one, so maybe he got time to, set up his stuff in the new universe or whatever. And then he met up with Morbius and asking him if he wants to team up with him and maybe some other potential special ability people. That's right, this is obviously setting up a Sinister Six movie. The end credit scene was very fast, just like the movie itself. But I have the feeling for this credit scene and also the rest of the movie, the reason why it's structured so quick is because of something related to Adrian Toomes. I don't have any evidence for this, but I kind of feel like this all happened because they needed to change a couple of things due to changes to the Sony universe, as we call it. You see, I kind of feel like they originally planned for Venom and Morbius to be in the same universe as Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And they realized later on when they are developing Venom 2 and Morbius that this wouldn't work because their daily bugle of the Venom movies and this movie is a very different version of it compared to the one in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. So soon enough, they had to tell the little teams to change things up, and the Venom 2 team was like, okay, no worries Sony, I guess we can roll with it. I guess we can make like a fun end credit scene to tie into No Way Home but not really do anything with it. Yeah, that could work. A nice simple change to our little movie. But then of course the Morbius team was like, oh! Because they already put heavy emphasis on the fact that this takes place in the same universe as Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They had the graffiti of Spider-Man with it saying murderer, referencing the ending of Far From Home. And of course, Adrian Toomes was originally going to be a bit more of a prominent character. Not so prominent, but maybe in a few appearances. Maybe filling up the space that was a bit jarring when they just cut to a different scene in the final cut of the movie. So of course, with that said, I think it's time to do a brand new movie hashtag demanding something. That's right, hashtag release the Daniel cut. I know it's supposed to be the last name of the director, but I want to make sure that people know that I created this. But hey, as a result of this, I'm at least glad that they were able to actually give emphasis on what their main goal is with this little side Sonyverse they have going on with a lot of these, characters from the Spider-Man universe without having Spider-Man in it. So it's great to finally have clarity on that they're setting up a Sinister Six movie. And honestly, it is pretty surprising that even though they had to cut a lot of scenes, whatever they were supposed to be, maybe I was right, it's supposed to be Adrian Toomes and all that, I'm at least, surprised that, well, it's still structurally understandable to somebody. When I was watching the movie, I was like, oh, okay, even though it's very by the numbers, I can at least know where this, movie is going. It's not confusing at all, which is great because that was something that I was a bit worried about because, Sony did kind of have a tendency of doing it back in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 days. I'm a bit worried that this was going to revert back to that, but no, it didn't, so I'm happy for that.
Hope the food's better in this joint. Why did I say that?
What? Interrupter, how did you get here? Why was there a big flash of yellow light all around you?
I don't know. I think it has to do something with challenging Charles.
Oh please, you have no right to assume.
Oh, I guess scratch that. Yeah, I did not plan anything for this occasion. Hey, Leonard, you wanna go with me? Do some good?
Wait, what? Do some good? That's very vague. What do you mean by doing some good? That can be anything. That could be doing actual good or doing bad stuff to benefit
I'll
you.
do some good
what
with you.
exactly, Lena, where are you going?
All right then, let's go.
We're off to do some good. We're off to do some good. Oh well, don't worry, Lena will be back eventually, like he always is. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this Morbius review. So, Alright guys and gals, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. For my next review, of course, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, it's almost out. And of course, Doctor Strange is not only a doctor, but a sorcerer, aka, a wizard without a hat. And of course, before I go into that wizarding world, I have to move over to another wizarding world and jump on that little train of theirs, which is not filled with that many people, to be honest with you, because yeah, you know why that is. Sonic Sweet! So I'll see you guys then on my review of Fantastic Beasts 3. So until then, rock it on! I almost did the different movement or whatever. It's early in the morning. I'm gonna just rest. I'm actually watching Fantastic Beasts later on in the afternoon. That's why I'm doing it now.